Auction time. This is the 4M series auction. 4M01. 3 objects under this item number. These are all Petalis style points I made during the Knapping. This one's on video. This first one. I called it an Austin point, but it's probably a Petalis variant, since the Austin point is a collector type and not an archaeological type. Okay? This raw stone, extremely tough, but it was consistent for the most part, which makes it an interesting material. If it can be napped, if you can nap it into something, it's pretty durable. Yeah. I think, well, I know this one was not on video, this one here, and I believe this was not on video as well. This is raw chert, also extremely tough. I stalled this notch here. It was going to have a wider base, but this is within range of the real ones. Anyway, I tried to sharpen this up as best as I could. Same with this one. This one's all on video though, but this one's got a better edge, I think, than that one. And I think these were used as knives, but the more narrow the stem, the more I'm thinking it's an atlatl dart point. The ones with the widest stems are definitely knives, in my opinion. Now, this is some of the worst stuff I've ever napped in terms of the look to it and the unpredictability. But once you get large flakes to come off, you can kind of, justify using it. Sometimes a large flake will come off, but as you can see, it doesn't always work. So if you can thin it early, you can just nap around the edges. It's not too difficult to nap with a pressure flaker. But anyway, it's really crunchy. But I managed to knock out the right shape, or within range of the right shape for this type. Okay, let's see. I don't know. I'm curious to see how much these weigh. Let's see. $686, $512. You never can see that, huh? $326. $3.5. $4.5. This is 3 7/8 by 1 7/8. Okay. And this is grains, by the way, not grams. All right. $4M02. This is a knife blade, modern style, that I napped during the Knapping off camera. This is raw. It was a little bit difficult, as you can see. I still got a little bit of an island in there. I tried to cheat and pick it out, but it didn't work entirely. It worked okay. Anyway, the reason why I napped this piece is because it had that cool crystal pocket in it, and I just challenged myself to try to keep it in there, and it worked out. There's a crystal pocket in there. You can't see through it, but it is in there. Just a simple knife blade. 4 7/8. I did try to sharpen it really well on both sides. But yeah, it's just a rock challenge. I just try to challenge myself with it to keep that crystal pocket in there. All right. 4M03. This is the little Clovis that I did on video. Raw, high grade raw actually. Yeah, it's high grade. It's just a little bit steppy, and luckily it's not snap and half-ish. 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. Yeah, you can see it all on video. I started out with a pretty round preform, which is intentional because I was trying to thin it down and try to knock a big flake off with indirect percussion, but it just turned out to be a, medium-sized flake, and this one just a short flake, just a simple Clovis. All right, Clovis type. All right, so that's it for the points. All my good points. Well, not all, but people are greedy at the Knapping. They want me to make them stuff, and they sell the good stuff that are really colorful. So all I got is a little bit of stuff left and boxes. All I got is just a few of these for separate items. Anyway, this is the box of Brooks and Bifaces I usually offer. Okay, here we go. Let me get the number out. 4M04 box of Brooks and Bifaces. These are not all mine. These are mixed. And most of these are raw. In fact, I think, if it's heat treat, I'll mark it as a heat treat. But this is raw, and it's kind of crunchy. So I didn't want to mess with it. It's got nasty stuff in it. So this is, come on. It's not gonna write because it's on video. It's raw. And all of this is Edwards Plateau chert. Now some of it could be Petalis and some of it could be gravel cherts and stuff, but Edwards Plateau stuff. Alright, that's how long is this one? You're gonna have a challenge with this one. 5 inches. Alright, this was made by a friend of mine. It is also, I think it might be a heat treat. 4 1/2. Interesting piece. He discarded it because he didn't like it. And I got halves and pieces and stuff, 3 inches. Yeah, Brooks and Bifaces. I don't know where the other half is, but you'll see a bunch of Brooks, and everything is raw unless I mark it as a heat treat. I believe this one might be a heat treat, but it feels raw, so let's assume it's raw. Okay. This is raw. These are all going to be challenging pieces, but it'll give you an overview of the variety of cherts we have in Texas. This is raw. I snapped this one. And this is one of mine too that I snapped that part off. Let's see, is this part of this? No. Very close. Yeah, you'll have fun trying to get these back together. Right? Right. Yeah, raw. Where is it? I think I snapped one of these. It's amazing how similar these are. This one is raw. Yeah, I think this is mine. One of mine that I snapped. Raw, high grade. This is high grade raw, but it's tough. You can run long flakes on it with enough energy, but man, is it tough. Where is it? Okay. On this one, I snapped it using the reverse indirect percussion. I did this off camera. I think I got 2 of these snapped ones in here. Anyway, it's raw chert. Yeah, these are all. This is high grade raw Georgetown type. High grade. Is this a high grade? Someone else did this one. I don't remember. I mean, I can't remember what happened to this one, but it looks like a high grade, and someone else did this one. So I just collected a bunch of brooks. This one I almost finished during the napping off camera, but one of the last flakes that I wanted to remove ended up taking a bite out of it. So this is almost complete. It was supposed to be a first view, or maybe I think first view is Cody complex. I don't know. Anyway, it's supposed to be Cody complex point. High grade chert, similar to Georgetown. If not Georgetown, this is very similar. And that one bite taken out gets it moved into the box of brooks and bifaces. Yeah, not too many bifaces, just a bunch of brooks, which is pretty typical when you're at a nap-in. Lots of brooks. And I believe all these pieces will fit together. This is one of mine, yeah. This is a heat treat. So let me put this in there. Let me write heat treat. Right? Yeah, this is a heat. I believe this is a heat treat. Oh gosh, let me think. Yeah. Come on. It's a video, so it doesn't want to write. There it is. This is a heat treat. I'm like 90% sure that's a heat treat. But the other ones are raw. I think everything else is raw. Yeah, even this one here, high grade. Anyway, it's just a mix of a bunch of stuff. I know it's similar in color, but believe it or not, these have different properties. I'll keep this one kind of separate so it won't snap. I'll wrap that one very carefully when I send it off. Okay. $4M05. This one is a box of bifaces. Let's see. I got two boxes. This is the smaller biface box. This one was not made by me. It's got a defect right there as far as workmanship. Yeah, a friend of mine made this, and I believe it is raw, so it's going to be kind of tough. We're going to assume this is raw. Come on, man. I should throw out this Sharpie. All right, that one is raw. 4 7/8. This one is a heat treat. 3 1/2. This one is a heat treat. 3 1/4. This one's raw. If it does not say raw, then it's a heat treat. Okay? I'll mark the raw ones because I think most of these are heat treats. If they're not heat treat and it naps really well, then it's a high grade raw. This is a little bit over 3 3/4. Let me think. I think this one is a raw. High grade raw. This one is a heat treat, so I won't mark it. And this high grade raw, yeah, a little over 3 3/4. This one is a little bit over 3 1/2. This one is almost 4 inches, and this is a heat treat. I said I was not going to mark the heat treat, but oh well, this is a heat treat. Four inches. 3 7/8. 3 3/8. This one is raw. So let me see if I'm just going to go ahead and mark them all. Heat treat. Wow. Heat treat. I did not want to mark them all, but oh well. Why? Because it takes a long time. I believe I said this was a heat treat. I think I got this out of the heat treat batch. I got a batch of heat treat from a friend of mine at the Knapping. Yep. This is high quality raw. HQR. It's kind of a purpley grayish. It's tough, but it's high grade. Yeah, high grade raw, high quality. What size is it? A little over 4 inches. And this one is a heat treat. Almost 3 7/8. All right. So this is pretty typical of what I normally get is in terms of size out of stuff that I collect and gather and buy and whatever. I don't really buy the big stuff unless I have a certain quota to fill or a project. This is the normal size of the bifaces that I end up using when I want to enjoy flint napping. Okay? All right. $4M06 box of bifaces. These are larger and of very good quality. This is Georgetown 4 1/4. Yeah. We're going to put in raw GT for Georgetown. Okay. I was going to make something out of it. Ran out of time. This is raw root beer. Raw. It has translucency to it if you can get it thin enough. It's a high quality root beer chert. Okay, this is high grade stuff. 4 1/2. You'd be hard pressed to get a higher grade than this. There are higher grades, but this is near the top. What would be higher than this? Lightly heated. Makes this extremely glossy if you lightly heat it, but I don't recommend heating it because it requires risk. It blows up if you heat it too much. Just even a little bit too much heat on this will cause it to crack or become too brittle. I believe this is raw, and I don't know what type of material it is. I do not know, so sorry about that. Let's see, that's almost 5 inches. This root beer one is 4 1/2. You're gonna lose a little bit off of the length, probably because might be an issue with a crack there, and you've got some cortex there on this one. Let's see. Now I said these are all high grade, right? They are, except for this one. They're all high grades. High grade, either heat treat or raw, except this one. This one's tough. Okay, so this is the only exception as far as I can see. Yeah, this is the only exception. This one is going to be hard to nap, difficult to nap. Okay, this one is a high grade raw amoeba chert. Some of the highest grade that I've ever napped. 4 7/8. Yeah, this one and these two, they came from the same batch. They're not the same stone. This one you're going to have a little bit of an issue with the tip because it's still got some limestone in it. if it does not have limestone, it's high grade, right? The parts that don't have limestone are high grade. But this is the highest grade amoeba chert that we can get. This one here. This one is mid grade because it does have inclusions, but it's an amoeba chert and it naps very well. Let's see, a little over 4 1/4. It will be a challenge to get out some of this crunchiness in there, but it's not too bad. All right, this is a high-grade amoeba raw chert. Let's see, I should probably write this down because no one's going to remember. Not even me. Okay, high-quality raw amoeba. Okay. High quality raw HQR. Dang it. HQR root beer. Can you see? No? Good. All right. This is mid-grade, mid-quality raw amoeba. And you can remove, this Sharpie, you can remove it with a Q-tip and either alcohol or acetone or some other solvent. This one is high-quality raw amoeba. This is some of the best stuff also. This one and this one were sweet to nap. Okay, let's see. High quality raw. What is amoeba chert? It comes in these weird blobs that look like amoebas. That's why. It has very little cortex in most cases and extremely high quality. This one is a refined biface. Refined. And it's HQR amoeba. All right, so all you got to do is put notches in this one. You don't have to, it's sharpened. It's a little bit bumpy, but it is sharp, okay? You just got to put notches or maybe not. And you can wipe that off with solvent if you want. Well, you couldn't want to probably. This one is I would say a mid-quality raw. Now, it's mid to high quality. It's very consistent. You might find it difficult to nap because it is hard. The density is high, very high density, but some guys like that. So I'm going to put HQR. I don't know what type of chert it is, except for the fact that it's nappable. All these cherts from Texas are nappable. Some better than others. If I know it's an amoeba chert, I'll mark it. The reason why I know these are amoeba cherts is because I spalled them out from an amoeba nodule. Yeah, I did my own spalling on those. Okay, so there's one refined biface and one really difficult one to nap, but you might like it. All right. Okay, let's see. 4M07 box of high quality chert flakes. Yes. And these are all raw. No, I can't say that. If it looks like some of this might be heat treat, I will mark it as a heat treat. But for now, it's all raw, okay? This is kind of a lavender type chunk I just threw in there to fill up the space. It's not as big as it looks. My hands are small, so it looks kind of big, but it's only like 3 inches. You're going to lose some of that, so it's going to be less than 3 inches on that piece. But if you haven't napped this before, this high quality stuff, you'll be very surprised that this is raw and a natural stone. It feels like it's an alien stone. It's so good. All right, this is a piece of tabular chert, but it might have concrete in the middle, so just be aware. High grade tabular chert, 5 inches long, but be aware that it could have concrete in the middle. If it does and it's getting to be a pain, you can heat treat it. Yeah, high quality amoeba chert flake. 3 3/4 or something. High grade Georgetown. Yes, high grade Georgetown flake, 4 inches. High grade root beer. It's a little bit curved, I apologize, but that's the biggest root beer flake that we had this weekend. That's high grade stuff. There's not much. There is some cortex on this side, but you're going to lose a lot of this curve anyway. Okay. This is high grade Belton type chert. It's a little bit dry, but it naps it very well, and I believe it is raw. But if it's napping extremely well, then that means it's a heat treat. Yeah. I got both heat treated and raw versions of this stuff. If this is napping very well for you, then it is the heat treat. But if it's napping mid-grade, it is the raw. You'll know the difference, believe me. High grade amoeba chert spall. One of the best spalls that came off of that nodule. 4 inches. High grade amoeba chert flake for you to practice on. High grade Georgetown. Is this a high grade? Yeah, this is the high grade stuff. I can tell because of the chalky cortex. Very, very chalky, very, very fine. Cortex means good stuff. 4.5. Amoeba chert flake. Little under 3 inches. And another amoeba chert flake. 4 inches. All right, so this is all high grade stuff. Whether it's heat treat, like this might be heat treat or not, it's still high grade. Okay? All this high grade stuff. Yeah. Some people have a hard time napping the root beer because it has little hinges. But back in the day, they had little hinges and fingernail unreleased flakes. It's unavoidable with this, but other than that, it's a high grade. I don't care about the little fingernail step fractures most times. Some people don't like them at all, but it doesn't matter to me. Okay, let's see. I'll get them all in there. It's a little bit over full, but I'll get them all in there. M08. This is a box of large heat treat flakes. Yeah, they're either heat treats or high grade raw. I think they're all heat treats. This is a heat treat. Why don't I know? Because someone else heat treated them. I didn't heat treat. Yeah, I obtained these from a friend of mine who heat treats a bunch of this stuff. And I love this stuff, but I'm offering it for sale because I got a lot of it. So I don't have to worry about not having enough. Well, that's not true. But anyway, high grade stuff. This is either high grade raw or a heat treat. These are all Texas cherts. Most of them are amoeba cherts. There could be some issues with pockets. 4.5. 4. These are all large, what I call large flakes. You're going to have fun with these. If you want something easy to nap, it does not get any easier than this. Yeah, 4 3/4. It does not get any easier than this type of amoeba chert. This naps the easiest of any stone other than hornstone and Georgetown and heat treats. This, in my opinion, naps easier than any raw stone, with the exception of, some of the fine-grained basalts, some of the Georgetown, high-grade Georgetown, some of the high-grade hornstone. It's up there with them all, with all those. Okay? Same with this. This is amoeba chert. These are all going to be what you call easy to nap. If you don't know what easy to nap means, you'll find out. Yeah, it does. It might have concrete. That won't be easy. You'll get a step fracture in that. But everything else will be, quote unquote, easy. Easy peasy. 3 1/4. And this one is a heat treat because it has 400 on it. I did not heat treat it. It was given to me like that. I hate to part with it, but oh well. Be gentle on this and it'll stay in one piece. I think it's still thick enough that it'll stay in one piece, but you got to be very, very gentle with this or it will snap in half. Yes. Okay. So just be aware. All these are very easy, relatively speaking, easy to nap. This is easy to nap, quote unquote, chert, but it will snap in half if you get too excited. Okay? It will try to spoil you at first and then it'll sneak up on you and snap in half. That's the drawback of these easy to nap cherts. I don't often offer this type of chert because this is some of my favorite stuff. All right. Rules. Bid in the comments section under one of my pre-populated comments. This means that you will be replying to one or more of my comments. My pre-populated comments will contain the item number, a timestamp where the item appears in the video, and a short description. Yeah, I put in comments in the comment section of these auction videos, and those comments contain the item number and a timestamp where you just click on the timestamp. It'll bring you to the item in the video, so you don't have to watch the whole video. This one's already 32 minutes long. You don't want to watch the whole thing if you just want to see the last item, as an example. All right. I will like your comment if I see it. Sometimes comments are not always visible. It may take me a while to like your comment, but as the time approaches the end of the auction, I will check more frequently. Yeah, pay attention to see if you get your comment liked. It's very important. That's how you know that I saw it. They're not always visible. YouTube is quirky. Sometimes people can see the comments and sometimes they can't. All right, just be aware. Try not to bid at the last minute. Yeah, don't be sneaky. I'm using YouTube's time tracker and it's not always accurate. It can be up to 2 minutes off. Please be aware of this. So if you're sneaky, you want to get in at the last minute, just be aware that sometimes YouTube will not see the proper time or it will not reflect the proper time on the timestamp to show us how old your comment is. Why do I use YouTube time? Because everyone sees YouTube time. All right? If I use just my time on my wristwatch or my phone and it looks like I'm late or I'm favoring someone that bid after hours because the YouTube time is different, then people get upset. And that's perfectly understandable. So I use the time stamp that everyone can see, which is the YouTube time stamp. All right? So just be aware of that. You and I both know that you're smart enough to bid on time, but YouTube may not reflect the correct time. Okay? And if YouTube says you're late, your bid won't count. All right. Shipping is free in the U.S. International shipping is discounted but not free. I will add the following amounts for international shipping. Canada is usually cheaper than other countries. Here is the amounts that I will add if you win. International rates often change. I might need to charge more than this. Yeah, sometimes it happens. We'll work it out in the emails. I will provide tracking numbers. I accept PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, check or money orders, and whatever other service you might have that I haven't mentioned here that I might also have. I can also email you an electronic invoice that you can pay with a card. This is usually the easiest for people because you can pay with a debit card or credit card, the invoices. All right, winners will be announced starting at 9:01 p.m. Eastern. I said Easter time, but it's Eastern. Let me fix that. Hold on. The pen does not write because it's a video. Otherwise, it writes perfectly. Eastern. That means it ends at 8 Central or 7 Mountain or 6 Pacific. Yeah, just keep track of your time zone. It doesn't end at 9 o'clock for everybody because there's different time zones in the U.S. And international times, you'll have to figure that out for yourself. Yeah. I will reply to your winning bid with sold, thank you, item, and price. Please email me your name, address, etc. Yeah, I cut and paste this response to the winners, to the winning bids. If I have never done business with you, I don't know who you are. I don't have your address. I cannot send you a private message. I cannot find you on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. You have to email me if you win. All right? Now, if I've already done business with you, you don't have to do all that, especially my regular awesome customers. I've already got all your information on file. We already know how the payments are going to work out. We already know everything. So that's cool. But if you're new, make sure you email me if you win. Okay? Hopefully you've made it through the whole video and hear that, because sometimes people don't watch the auction rules video. These are my cheat notes. There's better description in the description box. But again, if you're new, just be aware that you need to email me if you win. Okay? There's a more complete description of the rules in the description box. If you have questions, please email me. Please look at my previous auctions to see how they work. Yeah, if you have trouble commenting or replying, just send me an email, or practice on another one of my videos. You can comment on another one of my videos and say, hey, does this work on this video? And I'll reply back, yeah, it works. So try the auction. Okay. And then there's a auction demo on auction 3J. If you type in the Jack Crafty auction 3J and look for the pinned comment, I think it has a timestamp where you can just click on the timestamp and go to the demo that I did on my tablet to show you how to bid. Yeah. Okay. That's it. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you liked the items, and good luck.